JBN, we keep you informed. Fatal shooting in Spanish Town gang related. Investigators have linked Tuesday morning's deadly attack in Spanish Town, St. Catherine, to an internal feud involving members of the Klansman gang. The police have since implemented additional measures amid fears that there could be reprisal attacks. Dema Reed, a 19-year-old bus conductor, was fatally shot about 8 o'clock while standing at the corner of Burke Road and King Street. It is reported that a Toyota Probox with red license plates drove up and the persons with high-powered weapons alighted and opened gunfire, hitting Mr. Reed several times. Assistant Commissioner Gary Griffiths, head of the Area 5 Police, said Tuesday afternoon that the police have increased their numbers in the area to try to mitigate any further attacks and to try to repel this gang activity that has started in recent time. 3 suspects have been detained in connection with the shooting. In the meantime, bus crews in Spanish Town have said they are being targeted by criminals. Following Tuesday morning's shooting, several drivers parked their buses as a sign of protest. A bus conductor called for the police to put measures in place to make the town safe. He also urged the police to conduct a thorough investigation into the fatal shooting. Firearms seized in St. James, man arrested. The police are reporting the seizure of a Bersa single-action 9mm pistol, along with 13 9mm rounds of ammunition during a raid in St. John's Retirement District, St. James, yesterday, August 13. One man is in custody. The police report that about 1:05 a.m., a raid was conducted in the community and the premises was searched, which resulted in the weapon and the ammunition found. One man was subsequently arrested. However, his identity has been withheld pending further investigations. Former Jamaican farm worker seeking compensation. A former Jamaican farm worker who says he developed a severe illness while working in Canada is seeking compensation for his injuries and for funds expended in relation to his participation in the program. According to Courtney Thomas, he was forced to work in adverse conditions on a strawberry farm, which led to him developing pneumonia. He said he started working at the farm on July 5 and became sick 3 weeks into the program. The Kingston resident said he was given unpaid leave from work to recover. Some go work and in the day it was extremely hot, like about 65 degrees, and the sun did a pelt. So now the rain come down and I couldn't stop work. And I did far from any rain gear, so I did just have to continue the rain. Later that day, till maybe 3 days after now, me start feel some pain from my chest go down to my belly. And when me cough blood. So the 3rd day, me said, no, me have to go to the doctor, Thomas said. According to him, when he relayed his health issues to his supervisors, he was told he had to wait until the following day to receive a health card, as going to the doctor without one would be too expensive for the company. His wait was however cut short, as he said that night he had difficulty breathing and had to be rushed to the hospital. The doctor them said me contract pneumonia and sent to get a specific pill, but even after that me realized me still a feel pain. When me go back at the doctor, them said the pneumonia drained something off of my chest down to my lungs. That's why me still a feel pain. When me go back to the doctor for the last time, now them start treat me for something else because them said the pneumonia lead to ulcer, Thomas said. According to Thomas, because of his inability to keep up at work, his supervisors complained about him being too sick and told him he would have to return to Jamaica. He says he came home on July 13 and is seeking treatment for his health issues. He believes that he was treated unfairly given his ordeal. After paying close to $500,000 to go on the program and spending less than 4 months abroad, Thomas said he has been hit hard financially and is seeking compensation for his troubles. He says the situation has been exacerbated as he still suffers from pain. I borrow money to go over there, I'm sick out from 3 weeks. I did have to use the money me have buy food to take the pills. Me never ever even go over there sick, and them know that because me do medical, so I don't know why all of this, Thomas said. When the Ministry of Labour, which oversees Jamaica's farm work programs, was contacted, a representative said they were not aware of Thomas's situation and would investigate the matter. Jamaican's bigamy trial in St. Vincent adjourned to September. A magistrate's court has adjourned to September 3 the trial of a 44-year-old Jamaican on a charge of bigamy. On May 21, police arrested Claude Murray, a resident of Peruvian Vale, a community in eastern St. Vincent. He was granted EC $5,000 bail on a charge that he married two women. Prosecutors are alleging that Murray is legally married in Jamaica, but went through a form of marriage to a 54-year-old woman in St. Vincent and the Grenadines on December 30, 2017. But when the matter came up for trial at the Kingston Magistrates Court on Monday, the prosecution applied for an adjournment, saying they were not ready to proceed. The court heard that the pastor who officiated in the ceremony in which Murray is alleged to have taken part was now overseas. Defense counsel Grant Connell had pushed for the matter to go ahead, saying that he would accept the pastor's statement as evidence. But the prosecution said that even though there is a written statement, that is not before the court, and she needs the cleric to give evidence. Apart from that, the prosecutor said there is another police officer who was not present and is needed to give evidence in the matter. The prosecution said that the case was a fairly recent one and that the pastor would be back in St. Vincent at the end of August. Grant said he was not objecting to the adjournment. He, however, said that his client is a foreigner, and because of the little misunderstanding, Murray is out of the way and does not have much support. The lawyer further said that his client is receiving threats from family members of the woman he is alleged to have married in St. Vincent. Battle lines thicken in cockpit country dispute. As the battle lines thicken in the dispute over whether or not bauxite mining should be allowed in any parts of the cockpit country, Southern Trelawney-based environmentalist Hugh Dixon is questioning the sincerity of the government and the opposition on the matter. Dixon was emerged as one of the leading voices against mining in the cockpit country, which is a biologically rich area in rare plant species and arguably the primary source of the nation's domestic water, is not convinced that there is goodwill in the utterances from both Prime Minister Andrew Holness and opposition leader Dr. Peter Phillips. In response to reports that Holness said the proposed mining, which will take place in an area that the government sees as an outside of the protected section of the cockpit country, offers an option to generate earnings for the country, Dixon is calling for a comprehensive evaluation of that option. Place the options on the table and let's weigh in on the pros and cons, state the vision and the strategy as a leader in charge and in control with a policy framework to achieve the vision, urged Dixon. With regard to utterances by Phillips over last weekend, in which he seemingly sided with the stakeholders, who were adamant that there should be no mining in and around the cockpit country, Dixon wants to see him fighting that battle in Parliament. The opposition leader should have articulated with clarity and pointed evidence to the opinions, concerns, fears, and disgust of the people that have been all over the social, electronic, and print media since June, protesting their case. He should be championing our cause in the corridors of Parliament and at his campaign conference, said Dixon. In expressing doubt as to whether the politicians on either side are brave enough to stand up against the powerful special interest groups who might have a vested interest in seeing mining take place, Dixon raised questions about whether they have the requisite guts. To me, they, the politicians on both sides, seem like coward men steeped in old-style politics, afraid of their corporate bosses who issue them with directives and warnings, yes men, worried about the assistance they receive from these corporate sources being withdrawn, made public, or being worthy of a new scandal against their names, said Dixon. In urging those who have been openly defiant so far, Dixon said they should not look to the Parliament for help. All I can say to Jamaicans is, you have no allies or representatives in the Parliament brave enough to stand up and say no bauxite mining in any part of the cockpit country landscape. It is we against the legislators and their corporate bodies, Dixon said. Kenneth Grant, the president of the Trelawney Magistrates Association, has already declared publicly that he is ready to put his life on the line to blunt the mining plans which could affect several established communities in South Trelawney. WKPP hosting free health and a back-to-school treat in West Kingston. This Friday, August 16, residents in the communities of Western Kingston can look forward to free medical care at West Kingston Power Partners Health and Wellness Fair, which will be held at the Tivoli Gardens High School from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. Event highlights include a special address from the Minister of Local Government and Community Development, Desmond McKenzie, a live performance from recording artist The Angel, and a back-to-school treat for the children. WKPP encourages all residents to come out early on Friday to benefit from services such as general medicals, dental cleaning and extractions, vision screening, blood pressure checks, cholesterol and blood sugar tests, pap smears and breast examinations, and STI testing. To serve all patrons in a timely and orderly manner, we ask that residents take with them their TRN and ID for the registration process. This year, WKPP celebrates 5 years of contributing to maintaining good health in Western Kingston. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.